My father and uncle were two brothers. Their father were also two brothers. And they have one granddad. Their father's name was Gujjar Singh, and father's brother's name was Harnam Singh. He was Pragasi and Jaggi grandfather, Harnam Singh, and my grandfather was Gujjar Singh. Gujjar Singh and Harnam Singh had no sister. Their father was Ran Singh, my great grandfather. His father was Teja Singh. That's all I know about. And in counting of years, my great grandfather father about early 19th century.
And
they were in the village.
They were in the village.
Yeah.
Do you know, or would you have an idea, before the village, where did these people come from?
I mentioned to that they came from village Thabalke.
Okay.
More people came from Thabalke, and also people migrated from Malwa region, and some people in the village who came from Rajasthan, and that's how the village grew up. Yeah.
And what about the politics of the village?
Politics of the village during my age, as far as I remember in the childhood, it was colonial state of the British, and women didn't have any vote. People who owned certain acres of property or paid so much land revenue, they were given a vote. And graduates were given a vote, and that was only during 1930s. And before that, Indians didn't have right to vote. It was all ruled by the British administration. The political party in the village, Communist Party, had a lot of influence in the village. Congress Party, they have considerable influence in the village. Akali Party, they have negligent influence in the village. Mainly it was Communist and Congress. In the chowk opposite the Gurdwara, there are two flagpoles. Before 97, there was only one flagpole on which red flag flied until 1947. When the independence was declared, then in the village that we should put tricolor instead of red color. But the communists and also other people, they said, no, that is our heritage. We keep it. We built another pole on which the tricolor will fly.
Where did the communist heritage of the village come from?
From the Ghazar Party. People, Baba Lal Singh, he came from California. Baba Priyam Singh, Baba Munsha Singh, and the heritage of the Communist Party is the Ghazar Party. Communist Party was only formed in 1921. Ghadar Party was formed in 1913 in USA. And that's where the heritage of the Communist Party is from the Ghadar Party. Yeah.
And how did you get involved in your politics in the village?
I was involved in the politics the first time because the Communist Party position was that it is not independence of the manifesto which Congress has, and Congress has compromised. When the celebration was going on in that chowk, and one Communist Party activist, he got about 15 children, and he said, red flag, fly high, tricolor, fly down. And these slogans were shouted. CID was taking reports. Before I and my brother Gashi went home, our parents, they were questioning us what you were doing over there. So at that age, at 9-year-old, didn't know much about it. But my involvement came from Jaggi. He was in prison from 1941 to 1946 for 5 years.
Who was Juggy?
Pragasi's brother. His full name Jagjit Singh, but he was called Jaggi. And he qualified as a graduate from National College Lahore. Then he became full-timer in the Communist Party, and there was literature in the house when I was in class 8th, 9th, because English was also a medium. I read some of those pamphlets. I was influenced, and my parents, they were neither with the Congress, neither with the Communist. And when voting took place, my father voted for Communist. My uncle, he voted for Congress. And I used to say that you keep foot in both boats. And we used to have a laugh. And then in school, agitations against the fees increase, and also student activities. That's how I became involvement. And Communist Party formed Student Federation of India. When I went to the college, I became a member of that. And that was how influence came of the Communist. I attended study classes in the village when I was in the college, teaching Marxism, basic Darwin theory, all that, yeah.
So what was your parents' thoughts about your political activities?
Regarding my political activities, my father died before my political activities started. When my uncle went, one of the reasons he pushed me to come to UK was that my involvement with the communist activities. And
Was that to stop you from being involved, or?
he did, yeah. He said, he used to say that Jaggi, he went for prison 5 years. His family, he didn't look after that, because Jaggi's father, he married another woman, and we as a joint family provided for his education up to graduation at Lahore. Now you are going on the same road, and that is no good to us. So they were against it. Yeah.
What was your feelings about leaving the village and being sent to England?
I left reluctantly, and very reluctantly. My wife didn't want me to come, and her argument was, Gashi was already here, that two elder brothers, they should go. I was only 20 year age when I came here, and Chacha went in 1956. I was 18, and then he started the passport process, getting the passport in 1957. And on 4th February 1958, I came here. Can we have a break?
Yeah.